Welcome to all the mini enthusiasts. There was a couple of things. There's a guy called Brian he sent me an email about the panel that I took out the back. He's got an older mini and the piece is missing. I've dropped him an email saying, yeah, you can have it, no problem. If you're watching this tonight though, Brian, or whenever, just send me the maximum width you need, because unfortunately there's a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. You might have to just clean it up a bit, but rather than bring the whole panel, I'll just cut the oval out. But tell me the minimum width you need, and then I'll cut it just a little bit bigger, then you can clean it up. So I'll give it to you, no problem. And I can either bring it with me when I come in June if you don't need it now, or I'll put it in the post, whichever you want. The other one was a guy called Julian sent me an email about the E-Type. It was about the door locks. That I have dropped you an email, but it's Jaguar E-Type door lock pin modification, and you can see I'm working on this bench and it shows you all the pins and everything. I can't remember the sizes, it was such a long time ago, and I thought more people would be interested in it because it's easy to take. So 30 seconds to take the chrome off to check the gear and the little oil and the springs and everything, but obviously nobody's bothered. And lastly, before I pick the camera up, I'll show you what I've been up to. I've got 1,001 subscribers. I just checked just now, so I really appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. It's really nice. I never thought we'd get to that. It's hardly global, but, or what do they call it? Viral. Yeah. I don't know what the word would be for 1,000, but it wouldn't be much. But thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you're enjoying them. And as I say, we're going to really crack on with the Mini now and the XK, but I'll just try and divide my time a little bit. So I'll pick up the camera and I'll show you what I've been up to today. And so what I've done here is, you can see in the back here, I've actually built that steel frame, and that's 5mm thick flat bar. Obviously the reason I've done that is to put some rigidity back into that spot. It's not in yet, obviously it's just been welded there. I just welded it both sides, here and here, you can see. The idea is that I can use the bottom piece and put the hinge in it, so when it folds down I can push the stuff right the way through, and it'll give it some rigidity. So unfortunately that piece on the bottom I'll put in afterwards, because the problem is, and you can see I've done that. I made a new piece for the top. You can see there I haven't finished it off yet, but that's what was in it originally, this kind of half moon shaped thing. So I want it straight, and this parcel shelf will be full of carpet and all that in it anyway. The other thing I've done today is completely covered this. There was one down there, and I've actually filled that in now, you can see, and it's got a nice weld. It's a little bit deeper than normal. So that's basically the same thing on that side, but I've filled it in this side because of the edges, because of where the hinges are. I'll show you there's the top one. Yeah, so the top one will go on there. You can see I've had to do a bit of filling in where I've had it on and off a few times. But that will actually probably go at that kind of angle, and what I'll do is I'll build a gasket around it. The other one, the bottom one fits flat, but that one's going to be at a slight angle. So it's nicely welded in, it's all solid. And I put weld through prime. I primed it inside and then put weld through prime, because now you can't get into it. And obviously what I'll do when I put the light in the back, I'll come along the side. But this has got to all be sandblasted. This is a bit grotty there. Anyway, so that's what we've been up to today. Yeah, and the piece that's going at the lower piece that you can see that's cut out, I've got it here, but unfortunately with this is the bead I'm going to be using. You can see that one, and I'll put the beads in it. They come basically from the top down, so the end of the bead will be just about here somewhere. But the problem with this bead roller is to try, and you can see how wide it is, to try and turn that, to turn that handle and hold the piece, the workpiece, it's near impossible, and you can't guide it properly. So if you're going for one of these things, you can have somebody turn it for you, but you know, you're trying to coordinate them turning it at the right speed and you moving the metal through. You know, you need to coordinate it quite well. You need somebody who, you know, a little slower or a little faster because you're going around a radius or something. So to add to my mini list of projects, I've decided this really needs a motor on it. And I thought about how I can do that, and with my usual trying to use something that wasn't made for it, I've come up with an idea. Because I've already got a motor and a potentiometer, which is like a sewing machine pedal where you can go left and right. And what I'm going to do is, because this miniature Land Rover, this electric Land Rover here, because it only gets used for 1 or 2 weeks of the year, when the grandkids come over, or niece and nephew's children when they come over. So what I'll do is, if you can see there, you can see the motors underneath, and in the front here is that switch on the top is reverse and forward. So basically all I need to do is get another sprocket. Instead of using the sprocket off here, because I'd have to take the wheel off every time, I'll get a new sprocket from Toylander and make it so that in there you can see where that pedal is. All I have to do is press that and it'll go as slow as I want or as fast as I want. Obviously you want to go quite slowly, and then I'll use that switch there to reverse it back out if I don't want to go all the way through with a bead. So that way I'll just use the motor, and I'll put it in a cradle where I can use it for any time I want, and then when the kids come I'll just pop it out and pop it back on. So it's not a big deal, and then I get the maximum out of it, because I will have to go to Toylander and get them to send a sprocket and a chain, because to get the chain off is difficult, because it'd have to, again, the wheel would have to come off. The sprocket is attached to the wheels, to the hub of the wheel, so I'll get a sprocket and a chain, and that should be all I need, and I can use all the controllers and everything from this. So that's another project that has to be done. So yeah, for Brian, that's the piece that you want. This is the oval that you need here. But if you can tell us what the width is from here to here that you want, I'll cut it a little bit further out. I'll just cut it straight, obviously, with a nibbler, and then you can fit this in and put the holes in it where the bolts go through, if that's any good to you. You can see it's a little short there, but you can make that up. There's a little short on top too. The oval would have come to about here somewhere. So if it's any good to you, let me know, or if you find a scrap car you can take it out. It's up to you. Just let me know, but you can have it, obviously. Anyway, so that's it for tonight. Yeah, it's coming on, slowly but surely. So yeah, I want to get this done, because when my guy comes back in here, he's back on Tuesday, I want to be able to weld the door on, so by the time he gets back I'll take that off the back of the jig, put this motorcycle table under again. Oh, and by the way, if you're doing a mini or you're doing any restorations, even if you don't have bikes, these things are an absolute godsend. These hydraulic motorcycle tables, and they're not that much money, but they make a great workbench because you can just pump them up. And for taking out the back of a subframe, or jacking up the car and rolling it around your workshop or moving it somewhere, brilliant. You just put it underneath, it'll take the weight, no sweat. I did my IRS on my E-Type with it, that car there. I've done so much with this. I'm working on an engine, mini engine. You can lift it right up to you and it'll take the weight, no problem. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I'll see how we get on, perhaps another one on Monday. So yeah, thanks for watching in, and catch you Monday maybe. Take care, have a nice weekend, have a good Saturday night and Sunday, and see you then. Bye.